Hey everybody, we're here today to film my August TBR. I'm going to be drawing from my stack of cards. I still got quite a few in level 1 that I want to get through. And I'm also going to be trying to fit the 10 that I draw into the Trope-ical Readathon. So I'm hoping to participate in that. I'm going to draw 10 books. I may be reading more. There are 13 prompts for this, along with 2 prompts for your specific team and 1 group book. So 16 in total. Hopefully I can fit the 10 that I draw into these. So my first book, Magic Pony Circus Surprise. So here we go. Look at this beautiful cover. This is by Sue Bentley. I have no idea what this is about. It's one that I have on my shelf for my students and I haven't read yet. My goal is to read everything on my shelf. That includes books like these. So I don't even know what to say about this one. But yeah, first book of the month, guys. Book number 2. Oh gosh. Okay, I pulled the little monster card, which means I'm going to be rolling a d6 to see how many books I have to read in each category, in each genre, and how many months I have to complete that challenge. This could be good because it could give me a lot of freedom to fit the Trope-ical Readathon. So I'm just hoping I get good rolls, really. And I actually, if you remember in last month's TBR drawing, which I'll put up here, I drew a Monster Munch card for Classics. So whatever I roll in Classics, I'm going to have to add 1 more book to that. You just saw the rolls. I'm not that excited that classics and nonfiction were that high. Not that I don't like those genres, they're just not my preferred reading genre. But I do have actually a lot of little nonfictions that I've just recently had recommended to me that I think I can fit into this whole monster thing. I'm not going to show you every book I'm going to read for the monster challenge right now because that would just be a very long video. So I set a few rules for myself. I'm going to try not to do rereads. It may be 1 or 2 if it really fits in and I don't have anything else unread. And I'm not going to read any of my level 1 books because I want those to finish out their character. So I'm picking books that I haven't read from other levels, if that makes sense. Okay, so I am going to be giving you my August TBR based on what challenge it is for the Readathon and what book it is, or what genre it is for my monster challenge. So we're connecting a lot of things here. I'm not going to read any fantasy series just because they didn't quite fit in with what I was hoping to do. And so I'm going to mark off the one other series, and I'm going to be reading A Fire Upon the Deep. This is by Werner Vinge. So this fits the one I need to read in the other series category, and it fits the prompt Dead or Absent Parents, because this is the start of a series where a ship crash lands on a planet, and the only survivors are 2 children. And there is a rescue mission sent to go find them because they may hold secrets to a weapon that needs to be found, and they shouldn't be found by the people living on that planet, from what I know. So this is kind of a chunky read. I think this is going to be one of the biggest ones on my TBR for August, aside from my Wheel of Time read that's just a continual. I'm going to be reading one of the 5 classics this month, Love in the Time of Color by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and it fits the prompt to read a book with an outbreak or plague thereof. This is one of the classics that I've been looking forward to on my shelf. I've heard a lot of great things, and it's in one of my friend's top 10 books, so I'm hopeful that it'll be a classic I love. For nonfiction, I'm going to be reading 2. The first one is pretty short. It was a book my dad gave to me, and it is The Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Money and Markets. This book counts for the prompt, a book from a different generation, because it was written, I think, before I was born. It was written in 1990. A lot of pictures and graphs. So yeah, I can't say that I'm looking forward to this. It is pretty short, so I'm interested to see what information this has in it and how that holds up to the very little that I know about this subject today. That said, it should still hold up. We'll see. I'm also going to be reading Men We Reaped, and this is part of a book club that I started with my family and friends to keep educating ourselves on racial topics and to make sure the conversation doesn't just stop. And so it's the book we picked. It fits in my nonfiction, another one of the 6 that I need to read, and it also fits the prompt, a genre you don't normally read. Nonfiction isn't my usual choice. I've been trying to read more, hence the TBR game that I'm doing, but it definitely is not my go-to. For my fiction category, this is 2 of 6 as well. The first one is going to be Cinderella is Dead. I have heard so much about this book. It is the group book for the fantasy team, so I'm hoping to get that one read. I need to figure out how to get it. It's about generations past Cinderella's time, and girls are forced to go to a ball and, I guess, be chosen by a suitor, and if they're not chosen, they kind of just disappear from my understanding. It has some LGBTQ plus rep, and it sounds like an amazing story. I always love a good fairy tale, and so I think this is going to be just right up my alley. I'm also going to be reading one of my NetGalley books because I started that recently and I want to make sure I keep on top of it. So I'm going to be reading Dungeon Party. So from what I know of this book, it comes out in October, and it's about a D&D group that one of its members kind of gets kicked out and tries to take revenge. This fits the prompt just to read an ebook. I'm really excited to get to this one and see what it's all about. Let me find the author real quick. The author for this is John Gastel. So I hope I've been saying the authors for some of these. For a short story, we only rolled 1, and I'm going to be reading that one this month because I'm really excited to get to it, and that is Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. I've heard so many good things about this series. I have been dying to get to it. It's another short one, so it's perfect for a readathon, and it fits the prompt for a book that starts with the first letter of my name, E for Aaron, E for Every Heart a Doorway. So this one is high up on my list. If you don't know what it's about what happens to kids who come back from other worlds. I feel like going to be a follow-up to stories that are well loved, and I am really interested to see what all the hype is about. For historical fiction, I need to read 4 of those. I'm going to read one this month. It's another small one. It is 20 and 10. This is set during World War II, and it's about a school in France that has about 20 kids in it, and they're asked to take in 10 more children that are Jewish refugees, and kind of their story going through that experience. It's a nice, again, short little book, and it fits one of the prompts about a book you forgot was on your TBR. It's so small and thin that I almost couldn't find it when I saw it on my list. But yeah, this has been on my shelves for a while, so it's time that I read it. So I'm not going to be reading any romance, mystery, thriller, or graphic novels this month. There are several more prompts too with the Readathon that I have other books that could fit in, but for right now I'm going to stick with this set. I also have The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. This is the second book in the Wheel of Time series, and I'm about halfway through. You can kind of see where my tabs stop. We're supposed to finish book 2 this month and start the 3rd book, this guy right here. So this will take up part of my reading time as well. So I think I still end up with 10 books. My goal is to read these and get through more books that fit the Readathon tag, but for now, my goal is these 10 books. Let me know if you're doing the Trope-ical Readathon, because I'm really excited about it, and what team you're on, hopefully fantasy with me. Let me know if you've read any of these books, and if you have, what you thought, especially Love in the Time of Cholera. I'm interested to see, because everyone I've talked to has loved that book, so I've only ever heard good things. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a good week. Bye, guys.